Hello everyone, my name is Whitney Lucas. I'm with Crafty Thoughts Whatnots, and today I'm going to do a really cute little summer succulent type deal today. No ribbon, just artificials and a container, and you're good to go. So let's get down to the craft table and I'll show you all of our supplies. Okay guys, here are our supplies. Very minimal. We only are going to be using some artificial pieces and then also a container that I found, and I filled with spray foam. This is just your average spray foam. You can use regular styrofoam and glue that in there. I wanted this to be actually very full to the top, so this is the type of spray foam I use. It's called Great Stuff. You can get it pretty much anywhere at the hardware stores or Walmart. So take a peek at that. What I did was I overfilled it on purpose, sort of. I kind of made a little mistake, but still I filled this with another project I'd done previously, and then I used a just a regular kitchen knife that I use for my craft room, and I just cut the top off of that right like that. And so this is what I got. I got a full piece here. This particular piece here I found at TJ Maxx, which is like a discount type store here in Las Vegas. You can find different little places. They're also known as like Marshalls, and they have a little home good area inside there. So I thought that this piece was really unique with the little metal feet on it. I really liked it. I liked the wood and the design in it. And I got it for $16.99. Some might think that was a little bit too much, some might not, but I liked it, so I purchased it. And I knew I wanted to do something sort of, let's say, desert themed. What I originally looked for was cactus, and I couldn't find cactus that I really liked. I found one piece. It just looked really bad though. The quality wasn't so good. So when I was at Michael's purchasing some supplies for a previous project, I found a lot of different succulents. And I know these items have been super popular lately with the actual real ones making different garden type theme arrangements, or the air plant type things people put in the little glass items. But what I wanted to do was at least sort of stick with something that's a little bit more deserty, but summertime also the same way. So I am going to incorporate just a few flowers. All of these pieces here are from Michael's. Every single piece I got at Michael's. Some of them were purchased in the stem aisle, and some of them were purchased in the seasonal area up front. Basically, I can tell you that all of these particular succulents here were purchased in the seasonal area up front, and they were all about 60% off when I bought them, or 50% off. I'm not absolute. I think they were 40, and then I got another 20. It was the coupon on the app. You guys have seen that before. Make sure you check your app for your coupons, and you can get even a better deal. So I got a couple of these. They look like aloe vera to me. I love them. I definitely like the bright yellow on the outside of this one. I got two different versions of that here. I got like a grassy looking spray, and then this guy was really cool the way it bends, and it had the perfect colors in it of the red and the yellow. So I got all those up front in the seasonal area at Michael's. And then these right here were all in the individual stem aisle, and this all was 50% off. And a lot of times, they only put their seasonal stuff at 50% off, but all stems were 50% off, and then I got an additional 20 at the register. So this guy right here was basically my idea went from cactus to succulents, because this guy right here is super good quality. This thing is very detailed, very nice color. It's soft to the touch. I don't know if anyone's really going to be touching your arrangement, but it looks actually very real. Now, it did have a pricey tag on it. Regular price is $12.99 for this guy. But remember, I said everything was 50% off. And then that weekend I was there, it was literally just last weekend. It was actually Mother's Day weekend I went. I got 50% off of the stem, and then I got an additional 20% off my full order. So I got this guy here for $5.19. So that really cut down on the price of the project, but I absolutely wanted this guy in it. So sometimes you pay a little bit more for your focus point, or for what you want to be the main event of your piece. So this guy was basically going to be our main event. And then these guys were also part of their stem aisle that normally doesn't go on sale, but I really love the detail in the middle of these flowers. I like the way that green kind of pops in there. I love the way it looks on the yellows. So I purchased them. And they were 50% off. Had they not been, I guarantee you I wouldn't have purchased them, because normally these are $9.99 for one stem. So $10 for one stem is a little bit much in my opinion. So at 50% off and then another 20% off, I got them for $3.99 a stem. So I purchased 2 stems each. For this particular project, I'm not going to use any ribbon. We're just going to kind of place these in here to complement each other, and it'll be a nice little summer type succulent arrangement. Again, I wanted to go for cactus, but couldn't find any, so this is definitely going to turn out great. So sometimes your original idea might not be obtainable, but what comes out of that original idea can actually just be more beautiful than you'd originally thought. So what I'll do here, guys, is I'm going to clear out the space. I'm going to get my tags taken off, and then we'll come back and we'll start arranging our pieces. Alrighty, so I've removed all my tags. I've got my container here in front, basically front and center, ready to go. And we're going to basically start with my first piece that I wanted to be our main event. So with the tags removed, I don't want to take any piece off of this. I want this to be in here just as it is. I'm not going to bend it around too much just yet because I don't know exactly how it's going to respond with everything else. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But I am going to get it started right here in the middle of our piece. And remember, I don't really necessarily know if I want this piece to be super tall, but I do know that I want, you know, just enough height. Let me see if I can pull this up just a little bit more so you can kind of see just how the piece is as tall as it's going to be. So basically I am going to start and commit to that spot and just get a good amount of glue here in my glue skillet and place that right back in the hole that we made. I'm going to hold it a little bit. The spray foam itself I've used on a couple projects. I've only just recently started using it off of a suggestion I had heard from another crafter. And I like it for these differently shaped, you know, these little odd kind of pieces that things don't really necessarily fit in. And it's kind of nice so far. The cans aren't very expensive, and I've gotten multiple uses out of one. So this is probably going to be a new normal for me with this spray foam. It doesn't come out. Now I did put this in probably over a week or 2 ago, so it's had a lot of time to cure. If you're not able to wait for the curing time, then you're going to probably want to use regular styrofoam. So what I'll do here is, I know this little grassy guy I kind of want to be off to the side, maybe even hanging out the side of the piece as an addition. And then these guys here, once you open them up, they actually have a good amount of surface area that they take up, and they're all very bendable, very good quality, little thick leaves on them. Don't really need to spread them out too much, but after you open them, you can see here when they're closed, they have a very good amount of space. So let me open this guy up a little bit too and start placing them around. It'll start to come together as soon as you realize, you know, if you have a specific idea, or if you have no idea at all, just place your main event in there, which we have already done, and then kind of just start maybe testing out how you want one or the other to kind of come together, and then you'll start to notice that things will just appear and they'll just look great to you. So what I'm going to do is clip off our stems. Pretty much, I don't necessarily want to go all super long, but I do know that I need some length on them. So remember, go longer than you think you need them, because you can't really always add on. I mean, you can, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. So I like to leave my stems a little bit longer than I know I'm going to need them. And then of course you always have to have a pair of good wire cutters around that you can cut off the plastic pieces or somewhere where these leaves come in at. Sometimes they're a little cumbersome or troublesome. And I'm going to place a couple just around our main piece here. Maybe one coming right up in the middle. Look how cute that is. It just kind of comes out and says hi to you right there. I love that. So I'm kind of always work on my projects as though they're facing forward. So this project is facing me this way. But I do like to make sure my projects look good from all angles, right guys? I mean, if this ends up being a centerpiece on your table, people are going to pretty much see it from all angles. So there's that guy just saying hi right there in the middle. I absolutely love that. And then let me cut up one of my yellow ones. And we'll add that in as well. I bought 2 of each. We might not use all both of the stems, but it's better to be safe than sorry, because sometimes I've run short on a project before and then had to try to go back to get more, and of course it's sold out, it's gone. They don't have it in the color, they have it in a different color, something like that. So I knew this wasn't going to be a project that was going to require a lot of flowers. These were just basically an accent, and I couldn't say no to the middles of them. Look how cute those are. Oh, they're so cute. So cute. Okay, guys, so let me put a yellow one on this side. I got a double feature here for this yellow one. So I'm just going to basically poke that one through right up there. I have a pick machine, but I don't believe I'm going to need it for most of these. These all have pretty strong stems on them, and the styrofoam is very user-friendly. The stems like basically just float right in there perfectly. So then there's the back side of that there. They also just kind of say hi to you. So you just get your little, accent pieces here and there, and then we can start filling in with a lot more of our goodies. So my idea is, where'd that little grassy piece go? Here it is. So I want to put one of these, I want to put this off to the side, sort of in, let's see, I like to kind of take the pieces and I kind of pull as much forward as I can without losing too much of it to hold it. That's also how I would put it in the glue pot too, so we're not actually getting any hot glue all over it. And kind of just see how far. This one, I really want this one to just go flush all the way down into the styrofoam. And I believe I have the length on it, because if you look here, this stem, it's pretty much almost the full length, but it starts to curve here. So I'm only going to cut off maybe an inch. That's still a lot of stem to place in into the spray foam, and we're going to be just fine as far as it, having space to grab onto all that and adhere with hot glue. So just press that all the way in there, just like that. And I kind of want it to be more off to the side, so I'm going to bend it more. I'm going to put more of a bend on the angle here. I'll show you guys. It's kind of how I want this one to kind of pop out the side of the piece here. So getting a really decent amount of hot glue on the end of that stem. I'm going to place it right back in the hole that I made. There's that one. I'm going to put a few flowers in around it. I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter. Remember, not everything has to be seen. You're going to use some things as cover, and you're going to use some things as accent, and some things as, full on showcasing. So basically I want to make sure that I add some of the pieces around the outside that are supposed to be a little bit of cover, so that basically we're not trying to push them through, and I've done it many times, push them through everything, and then you're getting glue on all the other little pieces. So I'm just kind of adding pieces around the side here and there, because I don't really want anyone to be able to peek through there and see any kind of foam sticking through. So there's always that possibility. So we always just want to be a little careful that we're filling in all of the holes here. And this project right here should go super fast, mainly because we're not using ribbon. We are literally just going to use these flowers and place them in all around these succulents, and then that is it. And if for some reason you have some gaps, or maybe you're missing some product, you didn't buy enough flowers, you didn't buy enough succulents, that's a-okay, it happens. I'm basically going to push these petals down behind here because I have it really close to this little grassy plant. So the flower kind of blends into the side of it. You can always use another type of greenery as filler. Don't be worried or afraid that you've made an error, or that your project's not going to look correctly because you've ran out of a certain type of plant or flower that you were originally using. Just find something else that complements it and fill it in, because sometimes the most gorgeous pieces come out of mistakes. I've had that happen many times. Like, I'm glad I kind of ran out, or I'm glad I didn't buy enough because this looks really, really good now. So now with this guy, I kind of bent my leaves a little bit up. I pulled them all out and then I bent them up a little bit. If you can kind of see a little bit of a curve. So it gives a really cute little, the way you fluff them sometimes makes a bigger difference in the way that the piece looks a little bit more realistic. And I live in the desert, guys, so I see these in a lot of our landscaping out here. I mean, they're huge though. I don't know what the actual name is of them, but they're huge. I mean, absolutely massive. So this one, I'm going to cut this at a diagonal, and then I'm going to try to place it in at a diagonal as well, just off to the side. And then let me see where that yellow flower is. Now, I want to put this guy over here. So these two are going to go pretty close to each other, but I really think they complement each other very well. So this one, I wanted to place closer to a yellow flower here on the back. I really like how bendable these are. This one's like really super bendable and cute. And it's also, it feels like one of those real touch flowers. This thing is really realistic, kind of like this guy is here. So this one's really dull here, but I don't want to put a steel pick on it. What I'm gonna do is grab, this is just like a dotter tool that you can use in arts and crafts. You see here, it's got a little dot on it. I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna start a hole right there. That'll help me push that further in down like that. I love that. So you can still see a little bit of the styrofoam here, or the spray foam, no problem. What I'm going to do is put some more flowers around it. So I'm getting a good amount of glue here in my glue skillet, and then placing that right back in, all the way down into the piece. And this one is so cute. Look how that like kind of sticks out to the side. Isn't that cute? Really cute. So let's fill in with some red flowers. Now I'm going to cut these apart because for here I believe I'm going to definitely need to place them down pretty close into the, we're going to place them down pretty close into the piece. Not all of them, but there are going to be some. I'm trying to place this in and this leaf is giving me an issue. So you just come up really close to the stem and clip that off there, and then you're making your stem smooth, and then you shouldn't have a problem just sinking that right back in. There we go. That's exactly what was happening. Okay, so we're definitely going to be using all of our flowers, and that's a-okay. That was a lot of the reason why I wanted to make sure I purchased enough. My phone is ringing, guys. Excuse me one moment. Make sure I get that to go to voicemail real quick. Okay, so I'm going to glue in my pieces. Actually, some of these leaves I saved, I can actually put them in as an accent. Let me see if that works out. Kind of does a little bit more coverage. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. So I'm going to cut the end off of this leaf, and I'll show you guys real quick. I'm going to cut the end off of the leaf, and I'm just going to glue it right on top of the spray foam and the actual piece here. These are the leaves that come off of these stems. They actually have a really fuzzy kind of look effect to them. So I'm going to get some glue on the back of it here, a little bit on the front, on the back of it here, and I'm going to place it right on top of that. And see there, I stuck that right in there. We're going to put another flower in there too, so no worries. It's gonna work out just fine, guys. And I'm going to take this yellow flower now, and I'm going to place it right here in the middle of this guy. Just kind of feed it through, find a good spot where you can get it to bite into the. I don't know if I'm wild about that. I might have to change the configuration on this guy somehow. Let's see. I don't know if I'm really wild about that. Let me see if I can just move this. I'll bend this in a way where I'll put the flower underneath. That's what I'll do. Right down in the center, it didn't look good to me. What did you think? I didn't like it. You guys let me know in the comments. I wasn't really wild about that. And I'm going to press that flower right on there on the side like that. Yep, I'm happy about that. I'll show you real quick what I did. I basically bent the succulent pick to work more for what I wanted. So the leaf that was covering the styrofoam is definitely still usable. Let me get this glue off my fingers, guys. And it still worked out really well. Look how cute that is. I'm going to add another flower right over here. This yellow one is going to not go straight down to be flush against the spray foam, but I'm going to stick it, leave it up just a little bit above the two orange ones, and it does its job nicely, covering up that extra little piece that we didn't want really to be seen. And even on top of that, I can still see a little bit actually, so let me just glue this down right underneath here to fix and alleviate any little peekaboos that might still happen. And I'm going to put a little bend in this guy right here, just like that. So then there's that piece of the puzzle all came together. So I'd say that side's almost done. And then these two guys over here are going to need to share a lot of real estate. So there is still two orange flowers. We might not use these stems now that I think about it, because these guys right here really do have a large amount of space they take up, so not a problem. I definitely still want to make sure that my leaves are a little fluffed out, because I love the way this opens up and looks. It just looks really gorgeous. But you can always pull them and push them kind of back up together after you've bent them. You know, you put the little accent bend in them, you can kind of push them back up a little bit. And see how the two look together. Okay, this one I already cut. So I'm going to cut this one just a little bit short, not completely short. They're both cut. And so here's you're just going to test it out. No harm, no foul. Nothing says that you have to leave it in the first place that you stick it. See, I'm actually squishing my yellow flowers over here. See, I really like the way that looks and how it pops off the side, but I'm really squishing those yellow flowers. You see that? So I'm going to move it over just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bend in this right here. I'm going to push my thumb and bend it a little bit. And I'll place it right back in the same spot. See if that helps out a little bit. Push it down as far in as I can get it. Bend some more this way. Just keep playing with it, bending the stem. If you guys see here, it's bending the stem more to get things to move more around. You can also manipulate these petals more, you know, push some things to the right and left. Have the petals kind of pushed down against the back of this piece so it doesn't look squished, just looks like it's kind of up against it, which is obviously what we'd like. This guy's still peeking out at us the way we like. That's good. We'll move my leaves around a little bit. Now this guy is going to definitely stick out further. And I think that's a-okay in my book. I don't want to leave it out. You guys, you might think it's a little too crowded, but I'm really needing this to be in here. So let's see how I can push this in right next to the other guy here. And what I'm going to do is use a longer stem to help me make my hole deeper, because I don't have much leverage. I don't have very much leverage on this piece. Let's see how deep this went in. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, I love this. And a lot of times you'll see cactus gardens and the little succulent gardens people make, and the yeah, look at that. So I haven't glued them in yet, I know. I'm going to do that next. But when you put the two together and you kind of intermingle their leaves, it really just, I love the way that came out. You guys, you see we're pretty much almost done. I'm just going to do a little bit of a spot fill just to make sure we don't have any holes showing. I have a couple more flowers here in hopes that I don't have to use these two stems, but there's always the chance that we need to add to it, which is the whole reason why we bought extra stems. So no harm, no foul there either. So let me get this guy back into its original space, all the way in there like that. Bend these all around. Push this a little bit off to the right. So I'll push this one a little bit closer to itself so that I can clear getting into the hole that I already made there for this guy. And then we'll do a little bit of leaf adjustments. Very similar to bow fluffing. Get that guy right back in where I placed him. All the way down in there. Okay, and then I'm going to intermingle their leaves here. I'm going to push this one a little bit under, get this one over, pull some of these way far down. Kind of open one up more than the other. Because, I mean, if they were grown in the garden this way, they're going to grow in the direction that they have room to move in. Like in a real, actual garden. Absolutely cute. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, guys, I'm just peeking at different angles, looking all around. I can kind of see down in right there, but I'm not sure if these two are going to be. Let me cut this guy off right here. This one's sort of long enough. We should be okay. If it's not strong enough, I'll have to put a steel pick on it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put a steel pick on this. Real quick, guys, I'll show you a steel pick. I hadn't planned on using my steel pick machine, but it's a machine I have off camera that basically puts this sharp little pokey thing on there. If you don't know what a steel pick machine is, I have other videos where I show you what I've done with it, or you can always just look them up real quick to see exactly what they are. I need this to go in further because I'm not exactly happy. With the placement. So let me see if I can move some stuff around. I didn't want to bend this guy too much. This is our main piece. I'm just going to put a little bit of natural bend into it. I think this guy might be a little bit too tall for what I'm looking for. Let's see. Might be able to use it somewhere. Yeah, I think it's taking a look. See this right here? I think it's taking away from that other, from this little interesting guy right here. I don't want to, I'm going to leave that there, but there is definitely a gap I can't argue with. Maybe I'll bend this in a different way. That seemed to work out. So I just bent this guy in a different way right here. And that filled in the gap that we were worried about. So that's going to be our best bet. Yeah, that's definitely really good. You can always play with things and adjust them later, especially when you get them into their new homes, wherever those may be. So probably going to cut this off now. Don't worry, steel picks aren't very expensive. You get them in large boxes. The pick machine itself is a bit on the pricey side, but that's part of the appeal of the pick machine. Once you get it, it's a really good investment for floral design. If you're really into making floral arrangements and pieces, I absolutely love mine. I swear by it. I'm very glad that I purchased one. I'm just moving these petals around over here, guys, on this side. I'll show you in a second. I'm just going to kind of get the petals to kind of go through the little grassy guy over here. I like the way they kind of intermingle in there. I'm getting this guy right back here kind of just worked into everything so that it's not looking smushed. We don't want it smushed. Guys, I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to add these other two guys here. So we actually have leftovers, and then we didn't use the other two steps. I have a little leaf here and two extra orange flowers, but I don't think I need to put them in anywhere. Pretty much taking a peek at all my different angles. I'm not seeing anything bad that I need to... everything's looking good here. This comes down. Okay, guys, that's it. So this is my little idea. When I found this cute little wooden rustic pot, I just couldn't say no. So that's it, guys. I'm not going to add any more. Stay tuned. At the end of the video, I will have still pictures. So just one sec. I'll pan up and I'll give you guys a better view. Okay, guys, so here you go. Here's the finished product. Here's a better view of it, kind of up close. You can kind of peek around all sides. We got our little grassy guy here. The succulent, the main succulent, our biggest, prettiest guy here. These two little guys here. I don't know the names of these things, guys, so I'm just saying I think they're pretty and I like them. We got our little bit of flowers mixed in. And this cute little unique pot turned into a really cute little summertime themed, really great size too, little arrangement. So this helps you bring a little bit of color with a little bit of a different feel. It's still green, we still have our greens in it, but if you're in more of a drier climate like I live, I personally love all kinds of flowers. So these things just add a little bit of happiness to your table or your entryway or your side table or anywhere. This would even look cute in a bathroom. It's a really good size. It's not really huge. So just think about that. Just look for these containers when you see really odd things and just think, I can put something in there that's a little bit different. That's what I did with this guy here. This little find was a great find at TJ Maxx, and then the rest of everything in here was from Michales. So just put these things together real quick, and that's what you have. And then also, I wanted to show you guys real quick, I just completed this today on a YouTube live stream, private live stream for my Patreon group. This was our May's Ribbon of the Month. I chose a really beautiful cotton themed ribbon, and I made this as a private video for them. So if you ever wanted to take a peek at the Ribbon of the Month, join my Patreon group. There's a link in the description below, and then also on all my pages. You can find it on Facebook and YouTube. And you can take a peek at Patreon. You basically be supporting me to continue to buy supplies and then show you guys in depth with, up close and personal, even more steps than what we do here, just how to put things together. So this was our little Patreon idea I put together, and we just did that today. So super fun. Take a look in the descriptions. See if there's anything on Patreon that the reward levels fit what you'd like to see. And then, of course, with all of that, your pledges are very much appreciated and help me continue to make great little videos for you guys like this. So again, take care, everyone. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my subscribers. I just hit, I think, 6,800. I was pretty close. I was like 67 and 90 something. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. Thank you for your follows, your likes, your comments, your tips, your warm comments. Everything is greatly appreciated. And of course, my patrons, you guys are making all this continue to be possible. So everybody, thank them too. Other than that, guys, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.